before I press play, Urameshi. Whatever kind of mission it is, there's no way I'm getting involved.
Okay, just start the tape.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Scott, and welcome to our latest project, the Yu Yu Hakusho Recap Podcast. Like I said, my name is Scott. Joining me as always is my good friend Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
Yo.
How you doing, Ollie? How's your week been? What's going on?
Week's great. I'm trying not to say the title.
Yep. Because
yeah.
I told you not to, and
Yep.
that's part of the bit. And you're doing a great job so far, and I believe in your abilities to get through without saying the name of the show. Because it's part of the bit, and we're committed to the bit all the way through.
I wanna soundboard.
I know you do.
The Japanese one.
I
Give
know.
it to me.
You
Are we
can
gonna
make one.
have the tally somewhere here?
Well, I've got the I've got the
There?
blaster, and I've got the blaster counter that comes up.
Blaster counter. I love the name.
Yeah, I've got the blaster counter that comes up, ticks up every time we mention somebody getting blasted.
Nice.
It's at 3 right now, as we go into episode 3 of our series here.
Is it 3?
And
Oh yeah.
so today we're going to be going through episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12. Is that right? Yes. 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to cover most of the Genkai tournament arc and leave you on a cliffhanger at the very end. And then in the second half of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the manga that Togashi wrote before he started Yu Yu Hakusho. And I think you're going to see where some of these influences come from.
Okay.
Because
that's pretty interesting.
Like, I spent some time going through some of this manga, and you can really sort of see his ideas that got developed into Yu Yu Hakusho, and spoiler alert, further into Hunter x Hunter and beyond. And so, really excited for all this stuff.
It's gonna be.
So that's what we got planned on the docket for today. So what do you say we get into it?
Let's roll.
Okay, so obviously we open up with the first episode of this set of episodes, which is The Search Begins. And so we see Yusuke making his way to Genkai's, or to Genkai's, because the name got dropped. And this is the first time we see the iconic green and orange jacket with jeans and white chucks look.
Yeah, he was wearing chucks. Chucks.
If you thought the green jumpsuit was iconic, it is, but the green jumpsuit, the green school uniform was iconic. The green and orange jacket is like the next level down in the iceberg.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you see somebody walking around with a green and orange windbreaker, immediately you are probably gonna know where they got it from.
You can actually buy this jacket. The said
You
jacket. You can, sir. Indeed. Average price of this said garment is 150 freedom currency. It is not cheap.
150 freedom currency?
Yeah.
You mean dollars?
Freedom bucks.
Oh, American dollars.
Yep, freedom bucks. There you go.
Gross.
It hurts so much. Just to let you guys know,
So
if you're in Canada and then you go to the US and then you buy, let's say, I don't know, a pint of beer. Think to yourself, you're adding at least 25% more on that beer on the price tag.
Yep.
So
everything is like 25% more. So that jacket, you said it was 150 American.
yeah.
You're probably looking at like almost 200 Canadian.
$200, yeah.
For that jacket. Is that like officially licensed Yu Yu Hakusho?
It's not though. That's a thing. Imagine if
it's
this
just
was
a brand.
Imagine if this is licensed.
I don't know if it would be that much, because I think a lot of a lot of clothing, like a lot of like licensed clothes, are not as expensive as like they could be. So, for
We,
example,
yeah.
something like the Akatsuki sweaters from Naruto. You see people with like those zip-up sweaters with the
Oh
Akatsuki
yeah, yeah,
clouds on
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Those aren't always that expensive.
Really?
I
Because
don't think so.
I thought it would be more expensive if it's a licensed product.
Depending on now,
That's my thought.
I guess it depends on the um brand that gets the licensing deal. So if like Walmart made the jacket, if like they got if like George from Walmart got uh licensing deal to make this jacket, or you can get the $200 one.
Or this one, I sent you something. It's
Oh, you sent me
40,
something?
44 Canadian bucks. Look at that
What did you
outfit
send me?
on the bottom.
Oh, oh,
$44.
for the whole outfit?
I guess so.
Oh, okay. What Ollie just sent me
The
was
the whole cosplay costume.
yeah.
And socks.
And yeah, and boots.
And boots.
Huh.
Oh, wait. Shoes and wig are not included. Ah, okay.
Okay. What Ollie just sent me is the Faye Valentine cosplay costume from Cowboy Bebop, which goes perfectly with the other show that we are working on right now. So if you are enjoying this show, you might also like our other show that we're putting out around the same time, called Let's Jam, going through and digging deep into 2 sessions each of Cowboy Bebop. And this is the first time I've ever seen it. And I don't remember if all of you've seen Bebop before.
I've seen it, but briefly, then stopped because I was a dumb kid who likes
Hey,
robots.
Right, of course. But, so that's another show that we're working on right now here at Hugga House Productions. So if you really like what we're doing here, you might just like that as well. Anyway, that was a heck of a tangent we just went on.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a really good segue into plugging Let's Jam.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well done.
Smooth. Very smooth.
So Kuwabara, so Yusuke gets there, and obviously Kuwabara like just so happens to be there too, because he's after his situations with Yusuke, like his tickle, his spirit awareness,
the tingling.
is just through the
He
roof.
calls it something. The tingling feeling. The tickling feeling.
He calls it the tickle.
The tickle. Oh my god, the tickle's here.
Mhm.
I won't be here.
Mm.
So he's sensitive. He's sensitive to like spiritual stuff
He
and
is.
all that jazz.
And again, they plug this. This is all going to pay off much later in the series, but they plant this so soon, so early.
Pretty good.
When Genkai comes out, we don't actually learn what the spirit wave really is, except that it's spirit manipulation. So
Like
I love
control.
that they keep it kind of ambiguous on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's in order to make it so if Yusuke has learned this technique, it can be more of a power up to his abilities than necessarily a new set of abilities for him.
It's like a great contrast to Kuwabara is not something that you would think has so much sensitivity and control. Right? You would think this is a guy who he loves to brawl. He would. What's the problem? I'm gonna punch through it. What's the problem? I'm gonna punch through it. What's the problem? I'm gonna headbutt it.
Yeah.
Sounds like him.
He's very headstrong. He's very like forward focused. Now, is it just me? Did you notice Zangief in the background?
Man, I was watching this episode. I'm gonna enumerate the characters that was seen there. Zangief was there, straight up. Dhalsim was there. Chun-Li, kind of hard to spot. E Honda was there. Ryu is there. Blanca is there. But he's not green. That's the thing.
Okay.
Retsu is there. If you guys don't know, Retsu is a very old Street Fighter character. He looks like a monk. Yeah, there's a bunch of them there. I mean, it's like the perfect thing because it's the World Fighters. Gather
Right,
around.
it's a whole bunch of these world fighters coming together to try and learn
Yeah.
this technique from Genkai.
Yeah.
So, like, silly question,
Go.
does Yu Yu Hakusho exist in the Street Fighter universe?
No, hell no. Oh, there's one more reference. I'm not sure if people caught this. So the guy with the green hair, the night vision thing later in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the NES video game that came out back in 1984
What was it called?
called Spartan X?
Oh, I feel like I've heard it. I've heard it mentioned.
Yeah, that guy's a reference to that because of the outfit.
Huh.
And then the Legend
Cool.
of Cage, the ninja guy. That's him.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I really feel bad for Genkai having to seal each one of those envelopes. Each one of those tiny
Did
envelopes.
she lick it?
Maybe. I mean, you gotta assume so. Man, licking that many envelopes would like ruin your tongue.
I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid of thinking she's gonna lick each and every single envelope. Maybe she has like like a little pot of water there. Boop boop
Mm.
boop 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 boop.
But that's still like that's a bucket of lots.
She doesn't have staff. That one I can confirm. She doesn't have staff.
She does not have staff.
Who keeps the ground? The bat guy? Hell no. Like, no. No one's keeping the grounds in check. Hell no.
Nope.
No payroll for her.
I love the way they use the games to gauge people's like levels in this power system. That's still like
Yeah.
it feels like Togashi's still kind of hashing out in his mind a little.
Mm-hmm.
Because he talks about spirit awareness, potential for growth, and spirit strength as like three aspects of a fighter's ability.
I think the weirdest category there is the potential for growth. Because if you basically know the potential for growth for this person, you already know like this guy's gonna be strong.
Right. You know that.
You know.
You know how much more powerful this person can become.
Exactly. Right? So
and
it's
so that's why
weird.
Genkai would want somebody, and this is mentioned with Yusuke.
Mm-hmm.
And a bit of foreshadowing here. It's mentioned with Yusuke that he has a really high potential for growth,
Mm-hmm.
and is already on that track. And with Kuwabara, with his high spirit awareness, she says, I'm surprised he hasn't manifested it into a weapon yet.
Yeah.
Like she actually like says that. She's like, I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet with his really high spirit awareness and level of control. Because he was also really good. He was also able to adapt his spirit level to the karaoke machine as well. So he may not have done as well in the punching game.
I was laughing my ass off. Like this monk singing in the karaoke machine and gets 100.
Oh, you mean the ninja?
The ninja, he was giving it. He was bad, but he oh damn, he got 100. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the oh my gosh, so that ninja, same design comes up again in Hunter x Hunter. There's like a tournament arc in Hunter x Hunter where
the type
Gon
of like
has to,
nen.
Yeah, it's like a nen tournament where Gon has to like fight somebody who looks just like that ninja, except he doesn't have the Hindu swastika on his head. Because by that point,
I was gonna call that out. I feel like if it's flipped on the other side. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's a Hindu symbol.
It's a Hindu.
It's not related to what you think it is. Those Nazi bastards, basically. I'm not bleeping that out. Let's call them what they are. Basically, co-opted this Hindu symbol for their movement. And if you don't know that, now you do.
It's a whole.
So when you
it's a
see
whole read.
When you see a swastika in most situations, well, when it's not like
it's
angled,
not like angled.
When it's square,
over. Yeah, it's square.
When it's square, it's making reference to the Hindu symbol. I can't remember what the symbol is for, but pretty sure it's something to do with good luck. But it's not what you think it is. And we want to make that clear. I love that when they get into the dark forest, Genkai like sets the stakes right away. Be like, hey, not everybody's gonna make it through this, and like just the two other people they decide to show are like dodging vines and like beating the wolves as they run through the forest.
Man, it's just funny. They get to the forest.
Yeah.
All right, 2 hours. See that big tree?
Yeah.
Get
Go.
there.
Yeah.
Get there. And it's and it's just funny how Genkai scuttles so fast. Oh God! Like oh, she's scuttling. Like what's
Zoom!
going on? What's going on?
So
But
it
yeah,
was always really surprising to see that Kuwabara was the first person to get there.
I'm just wondering. Like, let's say, yeah, okay, fine. Genkai has his temple. Great, awesome. You have a temple. Oh, I also have a haunted forest behind my temple.
Yep.
Huge.
Yep.
So, who does the cleaning?
Well, the forest. Okay, so the forest, if you remember, she says that is like an ancient forest since the dawn of humanity. So the forest has never been conquered, ever. It's never been plotted. It's never been cut down. It's never been used. It's never been anything. It's literally just existed since the dawn of humanity.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm just gonna assume that the forest is in a different plane of existence.
It could be a dimensional thing.
Yeah, because airplanes. Hey,
They would see something.
Forest.
So we're not going to spoil the very end of the series, but something happens at the very end of the series with regards to Genkai, and it's what's really interesting about it is what is decided at the end of the series, what the decision is at the end of the show, which we'll eventually get to, and is really like powerful and really beautiful. So something I forgot to mention, and we forgot to mention this from the get-go, is that the whole reason Yusuke is here is not just to get stronger, not just to learn these techniques from Genkai, not just to be her pupil, but because apparently there's a demon human hunter on the loose called Rando, whom nobody has ever seen.
Such a weird name, Rando.
Who's stolen the techniques of 99 psychics. So first of all, psychics are real in this world. Instead of like humans with powers, it's like psychics with ability to psychics and martial artists with the ability to manipulate their own spirit energy.
Yeah.
That's what the power system is here.
People
That's what
who
it's
can
based on.
Insert title, basically.
Yeah, and with such an open-ended power system, you see so many different manifestations of it throughout the series, and we're gonna get into what some of those manifestations are, whether it's spirit power or demon power, which is a bit nebulous as well. So after this happens, so how old do you think Bulldog is? The Batman.
Well, I mean, before the age of man.
So he's old enough and scary enough to the point where even Genkai was worried for Yusuke when Yusuke showed up.
Oh yeah.
And it's unfortunate and hilarious. Like, imagine being this man bat that's seen probably thousands of martial artists come through this forest over the years, and
You would
eaten a
expect.
bunch of them. Like you think you're top dog. You think you're top bat. Only to get rocked by a 14-year-old Street Tuff.
You know, thinking about it, it comes, expectation comes with age at some point, right? So, forest, beginning of man. Before the beginning of man, cool. Oh, okay, we'll take that. Man bat, okay. Okay, Genkai, okay. Screening test. I don't know how many screening tests she did already, right? Because she's looking
So she did the lots, which was your spirit energy will change it to red if you have any spirit energy.
So that's like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then you need to pass 2.
the games were like measuring your
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had the spirit energy, you were let in to play the games. If you could play the games,
if you get 2 out of 3, you're good to go.
you could move on to the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you made it through the forest in the time limit, you were able to move on to the next part, which is a tournament among, like a fighting tournament among the people who made it.
Good old tournament arc.
In the pitch darkness.
Man.
So that's when we move on to so that first episode does a lot of the heavy lifting. Because in the next episode, we see that Genkai is setting the stakes right away with this tournament, saying that, like, hey, you can kill your opponent. I don't care. The only rule is come back from the darkness alive. And so everybody in this tournament is either a killer, a martial artist, like an expert martial artist, and except for this one boy who's in training.
I would say they can be anything or everything in between. Because you've got 14-year-old kids coming into this tournament. That
14-year-old street toughs who've been street brawling most of their lives.
Boy, you might die.
Yeah.
Right? And Genkai did mention that she gives 0 Fs about her moral compass.
Nope.
Like,
so
introductions.
Another thing. So we go back to Koenma and like dealing with all the silliness, and he's watching the tournament live. Is this whole series narrated by Ogre? Because it's the same voice. The narrator's the same voice.
Just gonna put this out there. Ogre is a pretty important character in the series.
He is a lot more important than you think.
Yeah. If you think he's just an office dude, like, buddy, do not underestimate.
Do not underestimate Ogre.
Do not underestimate Ogre, man. Ogre's a G.
Ogre's the G. He's the OG. I don't remember when I first watched this. I don't remember Kuwabara proposing to Botan.
Oh, he did. I remember that.
Yeah.
One more thing. Remember the starting of the episode? Like Botan was in a school uniform with her hair tied up. You know that's not allowed in schools, right?
Really?
In Japan?
They're
In general, it's kind of frowned upon if a girl ties her in high ponytail.
Huh.
It's seen as seductive and provocative.
Because she's showing off her neck and collarbones?
Yeah. Hey man, again, we're not here to judge, okay? Like, if you're into that, sure, cool. Right?
My favorite thing is when she lifts up her long skirt so I can see her ankle.
I love the neck. I love the collarbone. Man, you do you, more power to you. But like, you know, in Japan they're not allowed to like tie her hair. Her hair's blue. Come on.
That's true. I did like seeing Kuwabara and Botan's first meeting though, because I feel like it's something that we just kind of take for granted that all these people know each other.
Hey, he's not spooked. That's a thing, man.
Yeah.
He wasn't a
kind
spook.
Of is. He was a little bit like confused, but he wasn't like scared.
Remember last episode when Yosuke was dead, he was spooked the hell out. Who could particularly feel. And then, okay, here's Botan just floating in the air, straight up Grim Reaper. I'm like,
why is the Grim Reaper a cute girl?
He's like, he is a man after all. Like, okay.
Yeah.
He shoot a shot.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good on you.
Do you know where the guy that Kuwabara fights, his name is Musashi. Do you know where that name comes from?
Musashi Miyamoto, but the character design, again, one more reference. He was based off a character from a video game called Samurai Shodown, Jubei Yagyu.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
With the eye patch.
I never realized how much video games came up in this series.
Man, I played a hell of a lot of video games.
Yeah, so do I.
Like, this is like 1980s, 1990 video game, so it's pretty good. But Musashi is from Miyamoto Musashi, who wrote the Book of Five Rings. I would say, listeners, give it a read. It will give you a really good direction in life.
Oh, wow.
It's a good darn book. Pretty good.
So,
very philosophical. Yeah, that's the word.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look it up. He mentions that he's like questioning what kind of an evil demon Kuwabara is because he didn't die from his wood sword techniques.
Well, one, it's a wood sword. Genius.
I mean, you could still break bones. You could still like.
This is Kuwabara we're talking about. Gee,
That's true. I'm a practicing martial artist. And like I practice jujitsu, and we do have some sword defense techniques, and like we do train with wooden swords. They hurt. They can hurt like real bad. You can do some serious damage.
They do
with a stick.
They do. It's kind of weird. Like, this is a good laugh. So you guys are taught like sword defense, right?
Yeah.
So for us, growing in a place in the world where we're very well known for knife fighting.
Oh God.
That's where I came from.
Yeah.
We're pretty good with knives.
Yeah.
And the first thing that we were taught was if you are engaged by an enemy with a knife, run.
Yeah. Just don't be there.
That was the first thing they taught us. Run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do not be in that situation.
You're not that guy, buddy.
You're not. Don't try to be that guy.
Don't try to be that guy. Run.
No. So the sword breaks, obviously, and Kuwabara picks it up, wishing that he had a bigger piece of it. Why didn't this guy break off a bigger piece of his sword on my head?
After breaking it on him.
On him.
He's that guy. Man, he could have broken it in half.
And when his spirit sword manifests, it actually makes a lightsaber noise.
Yes, it did. You know what's funny? You know what I thought? I thought about lightsabers, right? So you know how do I say this? You know Kylo Ren's lightsaber, right? It's kind of like crackling its own form. Yeah. Because of the cracked kyber crystal. Right?
Okay.
It's kind of similar to Kuwabara, that his sword is like all over the place.
Oh, because it's not.
He has control.
In.
Yeah, he has control, but he doesn't have like the. Maybe Togashi's a Star Wars fan.
I think Togashi's a big nerd.
Oh, my type of dude.
Yeah, Togashi's a big nerd, guaranteed.
He's a big nerd. Confirmed. All right, let's carry on.
So Kabano is the next guy to fight Yusuke, and I'm wondering, like, where was he keeping that mask?
You know, man, I thought the same. I mean,
unless it's like a flattened mask that like unfolds, he must have been keeping it somewhere in his gi.
I'd say like it comes apart like plates, like he wears it like armor. Okay, I'm in the dark. I'm gonna assemble this thing into a fucking helmet. Boop. Yeah.
And I don't think Kubano would have had as much of a presence if Yusuke fought him in the light. If it wasn't for the darkness part, I feel like Yusuke wouldn't have had as much of a problem. Like he wouldn't have been as much of a threat.
Yeah, I agree. I think he would just steamroll him.
Like it wouldn't be. I don't think it would necessarily be like a completely one-sided fight, but I really don't think Yusuke would have had, like, he wouldn't have been as much of a threat.
You know, thinking about it. Okay, a few questions that needs to be answered. Does Yosuke's spirit gun emit light when he charges it in his finger? It does, right? Because
I would think so.
If I was Yosuke, I would just like hold the spirit gun, light it up. Where are you at?
You've got a light.
Where are you at? Where are you at?
Just he does. Dude, he does.
I would focus it on my forehead like a headlamp and fight with two hands if I was Yosuke.
Well, you know, we know that Yusuke is a pretty good strategist given how he wins this fight by picking up Genkai cigarettes, slipping it into his belt, and using it as a target for his spirit gun, which is my favorite thing about this show so far. Again, while rewatching it, has been like seeing how the characters win fights after the fact.
It's like, how do I say this? It's like making the characters not too overpowered. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They would just win by the hair on their teeth, and that's about it. And then they get stronger, they get rocked. Well, if Yosuke was like super, like, like 30 episodes out strong back in episode 5, Genkai would just shake his hand like, all right, let's go. I'll just teach you my stuff.
Exactly. So I'm just pouring another cup of coffee. Don't mind me.
Go for it. Also, Genkai.
Mhm.
How old is Genkai?
Late 70s. Like, she's old.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. She's human, but she's like very much a senior citizen. So first of all, I don't think, and back to that little short sort of fight, I don't think the bonsai missile is a real throw. When he picks Yusuke up, swings him around and throws him, I'm pretty sure that's not a real throw.
It's like a clothesline, right?
Well, that's the big arm bomber, which can work, but not as effective. And this is one of the unique manifestations we see of spirit energy, of using it to enhance the body, which we haven't seen yet. Which again might probably evolves into part of the Nen system in Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next episode, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit here. So turns out Shorin is Rando, obviously. But I love the misdirection of Shorin's strength. Oh, also before that, Yusuke is always so quick to seemingly throw his life away when he was fighting the ninja.
Oh yeah, 0. No F skill.
But how funny is it that he like wins just by slipping completely by slipping?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he probably would have been fine because of the ninja powering up, which created a spirit bomb, like a spirit energy beacon for his own shuriken.
Right.
Like he probably would have, like if he just ducked, he would have been fine. If he slid, he would have been fine.
Aside, like Buddy would have eaten his own shuriken. Also,
exactly.
This is the best time to. Where's the counter going to be? Like here?
Oh, right. We had a counter. It's going to be directly below you.
Blaster counter. Who is the lucky recipient of this He got blasted in the face.
Kubano got it.
Yosuke unloaded on Kubano's face.
Yeah. Taken out.
The helmet.
Yeah.
It's weak, to be honest. If you ask me, the Spirit Gun sounds garbage. I was expecting, but I was like, shouldn't that taken his head off at least? Like,
I think that Kubano was quick enough to like duck back, so it hit the helmet and not his head. So it blasted off the helmet and just like knocked him out.
Fair. There you go. What's our counter at right now?
Our counter's at 4.
Nice.
Yeah. So, do you think that the fireballs that Shorin ends up firing at Kuwabara have physical mass as well as heat mass? Or are they just a manifestation of spirit, which lets Kuwabara whack them with something with spirit? So, like, would he be able to whack them back with something that wasn't a spirit construct?
Based on this, I would say it has to be like spirit to spirit to resist each other. Because if you use, let's say, you use a regular bat, it's just gonna melt your bat, maybe.
It might just burn the bat. It might just set the bat on fire.
Bat straight up.
Yeah. And when Rando was revealed to be Shorin, and Kuwabara's arm got broken, that was the most visceral cringe. Like I was cringing in my seat. Like I couldn't watch. It was so detailed, animated, and the noises and the scream. Oh, it was awful.
I'm like, this little bag is you have to die.
Yeah. And it was clear that what Rando lacks in Shorin, or Rando lacks in strength, he makes up in techniques, and like so he's kind of more of a mage character.
Yeah, I'd say.
Do you think Yusuke gets a rage boost as well as a desperation boost?
Oh, 100%. There's a thing called, what do you call this? It's in the King of Fighters series game called the SDM.
Okay.
Secret Desperation Move. No,
and everybody's got one?
It's really called that. and it
Okay.
only triggers when you're at less than 15-20% HP,
Okay.
and you can only do it once.
Okay.
If you whiff it, it's gone.
Huh.
So I'd say Yosuke he's rage fueled, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's rage fueled in this anime.
Yeah, that's typically when the power-ups happen.
Yeah.
Is when
Okay.
somebody's in a rage
Okay.
mode.
Name a character who doesn't go on rage mode. An anime main character doesn't go on rage mode. Name at least one.
Who doesn't get a power-up from rage?
Yeah. One. Just one, man. Because I can't think of anyone.
Oh my god. Senku from Dr. Stone.
He gets pissed off. Similar with rage. Still. I get brain power when I get pissed. Oh no.
He gets disappointed.
He gets disappointed. Like, ugh.
Or
Everyone gets rage boost, man.
I think Spike just gets more intense. I don't think he gets a rage boost.
Well, Spike is a cool dude, but
It's true. I'm trying to think of cool anime dudes who, if you know somebody who, if you know an
Yeah,
anime
write it
character
in the
who just
comment.
doesn't get a main character that just doesn't get a rage boost, let us know, because I feel like there's some out there, but it's a very common anime trope.
it has to be a main character
Yep.
first and foremost.
hmm
Prove us wrong, because I would say
Hmm.
there's no one. No one.
And I don't know what it is, but Rando's design, when he reveals himself,
Mm-hmm.
has always kind of sat wrong with me.
In what way?
I don't know, but it feels like the design is missing something.
Horns?
Maybe? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that it's Kurama's hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
He
Had to
literally
see-
has Kurama's hair, and maybe that's what's weird about it.
That's it, man. That's all you need to say. That's it. It's Kurama. It's Kurama's fault.
No, it's not Kurama's fault.
It's Kurama's fault, man.
I think maybe it's that he just has the same hair as Kurama, and that bothers me because I really like Kurama.
No, I think what it is they were aiming for like an apathetic looking villain. But he's apathetic, but he doesn't have the cool factor.
That's true. Like
He's
at least
not as cool.
Hiei was cool.
Here's a good example. Sensui.
Sensui is cool. He's
Even in
terrifying.
even in human mode, no horns, no Kurama hair, slick back hair. Shirt. That's it.
Yep.
And he's
It
menacing.
Yeah, all of the other villains that we've seen so far.
I think it's
have
the
been-
demeanor. It's the attitude, dude.
Yeah, just something about Rando hasn't felt right. I think he might be one of the weaker villains. He's probably one of the weaker villains of the series.
I'd be more scared shitless of Man-Bat over to be honest, over Rando. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man-Bat will scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just like I get they built it up well. They hit us with some misdirection. Like when I first watched the series, I never even considered that Shorin would be Rando. I thought the obvious one, again, I was a kid when I watched this. I never considered that Rando would be the small kid. But like
Makes sense because like even Koenma said like he basically assassinates what do you call psychics, right? So he needs
and steals their techniques.
Yeah, he needs an unassuming look. Speaking of Koenma, remember that part when Genkai realized that Yosuke is a spirit detective? She said, "Oh, it's Koenma's boy." I was like, "Wait, how do you know?"
Yeah, they know
Koenma?
each other.
How do
I
you
guess-
know Koenma?
Well, remember that they mentioned at the beginning that like Koenma and Genkai were old associates. Like Genkai worked
Was
not before, but like
Genkai a
knows
spirit
who Koenma
detective?
is.
Genkai ex
That's why-
detective? Yes, no,
Well,
maybe.
maybe. But that's why. So like because of Genkai's connection to the spirit world, which we learn much more about like in the future, it's clear that they've had relation in the past of something like some sort of relation given her connection to the spirit world and her abilities. and her like awareness of the spirit world, of course she's going to have come in contact with Koenma at some point.
Fair. Do you think Genkai knew that Botan was a Grim Reaper all along?
Probably.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See,
I think that's
these
why she
details.
doesn't. I think that's
Yeah.
why she doesn't like make her leave.
Yeah, she just run in. Like Botan just ran in. You guys are gonna
Yeah,
get
as
disqualified.
if she was always there and it wasn't even a problem. And it's like obviously she doesn't care, or she knows who Botan is and like what her role is, and she's like, I can't actually do anything about this.
Do you think Koenma and Botan knew each other way back? Because we don't know how old.
Koenma?
No, sorry, Genkai and Botan.
I think that there might have been some relation because Botan is able to take human form.
True.
Right? So she's able to do that. It's something that comes naturally to her. It's something that comes easy to her to help her blend in and assist Yusuke. But what we don't know is how many times she's done that, how many other spirit detectives she's assisted, and we don't know what else she did before Yusuke came along.
True.
So the only reason, okay, so this is what's, so let's just rewind here. We're getting really into the weeds here. These these recaps are supposed to be shorter, but here we are. The only things we know about Botan is that at this point is that she is somebody who takes people across the river Styx.
Okay.
When they die. She just so happened to be the Reaper that was set to pick up Yusuke when he unexpectedly kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to die. Like nobody thought that was going to happen. Nobody expected that to happen. So she was the one who was to take him across. And ever since that situation happened, she hasn't left his side.
That is true.
So for some reason, she's been assigned, we have to assume assigned, to basically look after Yusuke from now on. And be his assistant as a spirit detective.
Fair.
But we don't know why, and we don't know why Koenma has such an obsession with Yusuke, which we learn much later. But so for all we know, Botan may have been somebody that Genkai had run into or seen take somebody's soul away.
Fair. That's a really good analysis on now.
And we have to assume that Botan isn't the only Grim Reaper.
That too. I was going to ask about that.
She's not. So we see other Reapers in the movie, which we're going to cover much later on.
I need to watch. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Don't watch it yet. We're going to watch it together. It's going to be great.
I want to. Yeah, we should watch it.
And so I think that pretty much wraps up the recap part of this episode. Do you have anything else you want to say about these episodes before we get into our
It's a
second
cliffhanger.
part?
Cliffhanger.
Big cliffhanger.
I want more.
I'm excited for more.
I want more.
So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the manga that Togashi made before Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
So I want to talk a little bit about just the recap part obviously ran quite a bit longer than expected, but I just want to have a little conversation about some of the manga that Togashi made before creating Yu Yu Hakusho and some of the worlds that he created before creating Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hit me.
So the first manga he ever wrote was something called Butobi Straight, which was he won the Tezuka Award for in, I forget what year, but he was only like 20 years old.
What's the name?
And it's a basic
Butobi Straight?
Butobi Straight. Buttobis Straight. Straighd. Now, it originally, so it was like a baseball manga where they talk about managed baseball, where it's more, where baseball in this situation is about the team coming together for a greater whole, which is I guess a very big cultural thought and cultural idea in Japan, coming together to the betterment of the whole.
That's true.
And this main guy, the main guy who is, I guess he's their pitcher, he doesn't care about any of that. He just is kind of a delinquent who just is really, really good at throwing fastballs.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Hey,
That's his thing. That's what he does, which is kind of Yusuke.
yeah. So, but Toby's straight. You mentioned Osamu Tezuka.
No, the Tezuka Award. So
He won.
yeah, that's what he won that for. He won the Tezuka Award for that manga.
Oh.
So a lot of these.
Okay.
So a lot of these mangaka that we know of today, Togashi, Kishimoto, Taite Kubo, I think even, oh my god, I'm blanking on, oh my gosh.
Akira Toriyama, Dragon
That's
Ball.
the one. Yeah. Toriyama. A lot of these guys, what they've all won this award called the Tezuka Award, which is a big award given out to young up and coming mangaka to have their works published in Shonen Jump.
Well deserved, dude.
Yeah, I mean the way that the things that this guy would go on to create, it's incredible. And obviously the Tezuka Award is named after
Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka,
Astro Boy.
who's the guy who made Astro Boy. So that's where that comes from. Then he went on to create 2 other series before Yu Yu Hakusho. One was called Okaminante Kawakunai. Kawakunai, which is I'm Not Afraid of the Wolf. And the other one was Tende Showa Cupid. So the first one, Okaminante Kawakunai, is sort of about a werewolf who falls in love with this girl that he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to get transferred again. Again, a junior high student who falls in love with a girl, doesn't want to get transferred to be another school, which is something that kept happening because he kept showing off his wolf form, or the people in his new school kept finding out that he was a werewolf, so they had to transfer schools again. And it seems that the lady who is his main love interest, Sayaka, is really the inspiration for Keiko. Somebody who is kind, like a young lady who's kind and athletic and funny and like all of the things that Keiko has, where I think originally came from this character here. Spoiler alert, this young lady Sayaka is a vampire, and she agrees to only suck blood from our main character, who's a werewolf, and they enter into a relationship at the end of the first chapter. That whole series, this was a one-shot that was published in a series of other one-shots into a whole tankobon, I think by the same name, and you can find it online pretty easily. Oh, the other one, now this one I'm just going to read off the wiki description for, of Tente Shuaru Cupid. So Tende Shuaru Cupid, which translates to an ill-tempered Cupid in heaven.
A rom-com, eh?
It's a rom-com. So the plot follows the storyline of Ryuju Konobori. He's a sweet and introverted 15-year-old who lives with his 4 stepsisters and their father, the leader of the Koinobori Yakuza, and is a promiscuous playboy by heritage, just like his father, grandfather, and so on. Ryuji's family has a tendency to make fun of Ryuji's innocent nature, causing the boy to continuously try to run away from home. After escaping one day, Ryuji witnesses a beautiful girl with a devil tail bathing in a forest pool. Embarrassed, Ryuji returns to his home to be confronted by the girl the following day. As it turns out, the devil is named Maria and was hired by Ryuji's father to live with them in order to teach his son, quote-unquote, the pleasures of the flesh, and make him follow in his family's perverted footsteps. So this was a 4-volume manga that was produced by Shonen Jump.
By Shonen Jump?
Yup. Came out in Weekly Shonen Jump and ran from 89 to 1990. So July 24th, 1989 to March 12th, 1990. And has 4 volumes released into tankobons as well, which if you're interested in checking them out, you certainly can. But those 3 titles were the titles that Togashi created and wrote and drew before Yu Yu Hakusho. And if you think about it, you've got the aspects of demons and devils being evil, but not necessarily, being like naughty, but not necessarily evil.
Just messing with you.
Exactly. You've got the types of love interests that his main characters are into. You've got the delinquent who stands out from the crowd. 3 big things that go into creating. There's 3 big characteristics of Yu Yu Hakusho, and 3 big characteristics of Yusuke in the world around him. And so it's really interesting to see sort of how these ideas evolved into what would become Yu Yu Hakusho.
Man, one thing really stuck for me from Togashi. He had the stepsister attack way before it was a thing. Just putting it out there.
I don't know this series. And if you've read the series, listener, do you think it go into harem territory?
Because I will read this on my flight. Because I think Togashi is the father of the stepsister genre.
Oh my god, no. That would be mind blowing. Oh, brand new appreciation for this man.
I won the Tesca Award. Stepsisters.
Well, that's not how we won the Tesco Award, but after we won the Tesco Award, get this out there.
Damn.
So, yeah, because Butobi Straight came out, I think, in 86 was when it was published. This came out in 89 to 1990, and then it was serialized from 1990 to 1994. So he came out with with first Yu Yu Hakusho, like 6 months after finishing with the romantic comedy one. So that finished in March, and then he started serializing Yu Yu Hakusho like 6 months later.
Damn.
So this man has been like,
he's on it,
and he's been writing manga for most of his adult life, pretty much nonstop, to a point where Hunter x Hunter has been on hiatus for more than it's been
Togashi Hunter x Hunter
actually running. And he's got an idea of how to finish it, but due to health concerns and health problems, like with his back and his heart, like he just can't keep doing it.
I hope he gets well. Togashi, if you're listening to this, get well soon. Finish Hunter x Hunter.
Finish Hunter x Hunter on your time.
On your time. But I wish you good health, Mr. Togashi. Get well.
The sheer levels of crunch in the manga industry, if you don't know, is absolutely destructive. So these
eviscerating.
These authors and artists, these people who are basically this one and the same in a lot of cases, not always the case. Sometimes sometimes it's 2 people working together, 2 or 3 people working together. See Clamp for more information about that. But there's so much pressure to keep your series running.
Too much.
Once you get published in Shonen Jump, or once you get published at all, you have to basically churn out a chapter of manga every single week in order to...
It's like you work so hard to get to Shonen Jump, and then when you get to Shonen, you have to work harder. I'm like, holy.
Yep. And so, but there are people like Oda, who's been writing One Piece for like 30 years and hasn't missed a chapter.
He's still going.
I don't think he's human, but hey, well, that's a conversation for a different day. But these people have died for their work. I can't think of his name, but the guy who wrote and drew Berserk. His heart exploded because by the end of his life, he was subsiding on coffee and cigarettes.
Kentaro Miura.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. I mean,
so if manga is a medium that you enjoy,
support it.
You support it, and you really try to think about the work that goes into it.
It's a lot.
It's so much more than you think. And even, this is going to sound weird, even the bad ones
Oh, dude, still takes a
are
lot of
so
work.
much more difficult to create than you think.
And like not everyone, but some of these authors, like mangakas, what they leave behind is a legacy. Like a good example is Miura, right? That's his life's work, dude.
Berserk is never, it's immortalized him in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
And then
I think
he,
in all of the years that a lot of these shows have been around, or these stories have been around,
yeah, and all
they end up immortalizing the authors. I
they
don't
do,
think
they do,
think
and
somebody like Kishimoto is ever going to be forgotten. I
and
don't think
also,
Togashi is ever going to be forgotten.
oh no, hell no. Akira Toriyama, hell no.
Never.
And some of them have their like signature art styles too, that people know. Like when you see something, you know, like, oh, it's Toriyama.
Yep.
This is Toriyama's work. So again, after Miura passed away, one of his colleagues took over because like he worked with Koji Mori.
Oh,
It was like passion. It's like the torch has been passed to Mori,
okay.
so he's the one who's gonna finish the Berserk.
It'd be really great to see Berserk get its final chapter.
And the good thing is like Koji Mori work. They're friends. They work together. He knows Miura in a what do you call this, in a personal level.
Mhm.
So yeah, I wish him the best, Koji Mori, sir, if you're listening. Yeah, keep doing the Lord's work.
Thanks
And,
for doing it.
yeah.
It is something that we definitely appreciate.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
So I think that's going to wrap up this episode of our wonderful Yu Yu Hakusho series. We got a little sidetracked there, but I think we came to a pretty cool conclusion about this show so far.
Mhm.
If you love what we're doing here and you want to support what we're doing here at Helga House Productions, you can feel free to support us on Patreon. You can check us out at patreon.com/Helga House. There you'll find extended and uncut episodes of all of the shows we're doing here at Helga House Productions. You'll see some, by this point, oh man, there better be some exclusive specials up there that you won't find anywhere else. You'll find, hopefully by this point, we're also organizing game nights. There might even be some merch coming down the line. So for all of that and more, visit patreon.com/Helga House. Pledge us a couple of bucks and promise to make it worth your while. If you are watching this video on our Helga House YouTube channel, then leaving us a nice comment and liking the video and subscribing to the channel helps out a lot as well. The more that this situation grows, the more we can do for you. So
Interaction.
we want to make cool things, and we want you to enjoy the cool things we make. And finally, if you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting platform, drop us a follow and leave us a nice review. Let us know what you think of the show, because the more we learn, the better we get, and the more we improve. So with all that said, thank you so much for checking out this episode, and we really hope that you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Togashi stepsister. Let's go.
Bye now.
Bye.
This show was proudly produced by Helga House Productions. And for more shows like the one you just listened to, visit helgahouse.com.